based off our effort at Illinois, we're really starting to. I'm seeing guys just buy in more. I think you guys can see that on the screen as well. Everybody really played to their role, especially in that second half. I was super excited for our bench guys, Nazir and Johnny and Jamari and Julian. They were fantastic to hold down the fort while we were in foul trouble there. I thought they gave us great minutes, and I let them know that during the game. I let them know that after the game. But to be able to go to Illinois and play the way we did, again, there's a lot of room for growth. We can still get better. That's what really excites me, because give Illinois credit, they played really well in the first half, but you can see what we're capable of in the second half.
That turnaround that kind of happened, how much of that is a testament to just how far this program has come probably in the most recent couple of years?
Yeah, we've come a long way for sure in my 6 3/4 of a year being here. But that was always the vision. We knew it was going to take time. We knew it was a process. But to be able to go to Illinois and win on the road, I can remember a few years, and I know you guys know this, when DJ Newbill misses that layup for the win. I mean, I still remember all those plays that you were this close, and now to be able to win the way we did just shows the growth of the program and the talent of the program and the buy-in of the program, which really, if that doesn't get you excited to come Thursday night, 8 o'clock, white out, please get here. We need everybody to show these guys support because they play a fun style.
Pat, along those lines, can you wrap your head around the concept of you're at Ohio State, you bank in a three-pointer to win it from 30 feet. Before that, your team's struggling. After it, you go on this run. Is there something to be said for one play having that much of an impact on a team?
That's a really good point, Mark. I don't know if it's one play, because watching that film this morning, I felt like we played pretty well for about 38 minutes, and then Diop went nuts. C.J. Jackson hit a big three, and I thought we played well throughout. Now, it would have been brutal to walk out of there with a loss, but because that play, or that game, I'd rather say the game, because it's really not a play, it gave us the confidence to move forward. And then because of that confidence, you get more buy-in and better practices, better film session. Everything gets a little bit better. And I think that's what you're seeing over the last 6 games. Even at Michigan State, when we didn't have the best second half, I still felt like, and I think Izzo would say the same thing, we competed hard.
We all have a short attention span, so it's hard to look at a whole game as opposed to one play that was, on all the highlights.
We always magnify the last 2 minutes, no question about it. I get it.
I think I watched the pregame interview that you did where you kind of just didn't really focus so much on necessarily what Illinois was doing that was unique and different, but more so what Penn State's doing. Is that the same approach kind of this week headed into another go-around with Ohio State? Yeah,
there's no doubt. Everybody gets caught up on what Illinois does and what Michigan State does and what Purdue does and what Ohio State. It's really about us and what we can control and what we do and what our principles are and what our foundation is and what our mental conditioning says and states. So it's really about us again. Keep taking steps to get better. I keep talking to our team about getting 1% better. Get 1% better every day, and that's a massive marginal gain at the end of it. I mean, that means you're getting 5 and 10 and 20% better every time you step on the floor or in a film session. So that's the goal with this team right now. Stay present, stay right here, get a little bit better, get that 1% better, and then, God willing, we wake up tomorrow, get 1% better, and then we get ready to compete for Ohio State.
How does a stat, I forget what the number was specifically, but you shot the three at sort of like an outrageous clip at Ohio State.
Yeah, I think we were 6 for 8 to start the game.
I mean, how does a number like that impact how you game plan the second time around? Because, I mean, obviously those are looks that you want and you make them, but you probably figure that you're not going to shoot 6 for 8 to open every game that you ever play.
So I would say if we could defend and rebound like we did in the second half of Illinois, to hold them to 16 points is pretty good. So it goes back to our foundation. It goes back to our identity and who we are. If the shots aren't falling, well, now we have to really rely on our defense and our rebounding. And if we can defend and rebound and get out and transition, well, now you're getting easy baskets. You might not need 11 threes. Now you just need, good quality shots. And it's never, you never go into a game thinking we're going to hit 15 threes, right? Yeah. So you want to go in and just defend and rebound and know who you are.
Is there any way to get, Diop's been as good as anybody in the country for a reason, so it's not that easy. Is there any way to keep him from having those end of game moments that he seems to have had the past few weeks where Ohio State goes
Yeah, I
from
mean, he
1
hits
point
those
to-
threes against us,
Yeah.
and then he gets the rebound. I mean, that's a kid who's playing like a senior. I mean, technically he is. To be able to get that tip in was just amazing watching that game. He's a great player. I mean, he's a big time player. I mean, in my opinion, he's MVP of the Big Ten right now. I don't think anybody would argue or fight or debate me on that. But we just got to, again, we got to take care of simple. And what is simple? If somebody blocks him out, he doesn't get the rebound. Now, we were draped all over him when he made those threes. They were difficult shots, and sometimes good players make plays.
You've already mentioned getting butts in seats on Thursday night. How much,
Did I say that?
kind of, in a way, how much personal stock do you put in the outcome of that, the attendance, in terms of a gauge of people paying attention and caring and showing support for your program?
Yeah, look, over the last few weeks, I think we saw a lot of care and a lot of attention. I think people have come out. Close to 14,000. Iowa, close to 11, I think, for, flip that, 14 for Rutgers, 11 for Iowa. So, an 8,500 in a blizzard with ice. I like to think we're trending in the right way. I think there's people watching. I think people notice us, and I think they like the way we play. They like the players that we have, and I think they know we're playing for something. So I'd love to see this place rocking Thursday night with a whiteout and give us a little mini version of what Beaver Stadium looks like. James Franklin will be there. We're going to have some great people at the game, so it should be a lot of fun.
And kind of in conjunction or in turn, how do you prepare your players for that type of an atmosphere if it does come?
Yeah, I don't even talk about it. We know what we have to do. Once we step over that line, it's time to play. We dial in, we focus, not worry about what's going on the outside.
Do you have a sense for how many tickets have been sold? Do you track that stuff, or do you don't
I
leave
don't
that
know
to
right
the-
now,
Okay.
but I might ask maybe Thursday morning.
Right.
Ask PJ or Rose. Say, well, how we doing? What do you think? What the crowd's going to be? But it's really important what Lamar Stevens is thinking and Tony Carr's feeling, because he was sick the other night, and I thought he played just unbelievable basketball. One of his best games. Floor, assist to turnover, rebounds, attitude points. He won our attitude for the game, and being sick leading up to the game, not knowing if he was going to play at all. It was really impressive. I think a major breakthrough.
You guys have been kind of all over the place rebounding-wise. How do you establish some level of consistency there?
Yeah, we work on it every day, just like any game situations. We work on it every day, and it's just getting the habit of finding bodies and go securing the basketball. Give Illinois credit early on there. I think they had 6 quick offensive rebounds, and we were not too pleased. But once in the second half, I thought Mike was more engaged. He gets in foul trouble, and that hurts our rebounding. But I thought we did a much better job in the second half for sure. But you're right, it's been inconsistent.
How did you convey that not too pleased to your players?
We need to rebound the basketball.
Same exact words.
Probably not that way.
Is that different, like you said, that the focus is this and not the crowd and not that? I mean, now that you do have a veteran team, you have guys who've been through some of this before. Is it different?
Well, we still have sophomores.
But game-wise,
we're becoming, game-wise,
yeah.
I agree. We're getting there. But I think you're able to go on the road and play some really good games in some hostile environments, Ohio State being one. I would even say Michigan State being another. Illinois, it was crazy. That was packed. Right, Rose? I mean, that was loud. It was
loud.
insane. We have to be able to handle that and just kind of block that out and just stay focused on the task at hand of what we can control, and that's our effort, that's our attitude, and that's the game plan of how we want to play.
What's the difference between coaching a game against Michigan a few years ago, where maybe the difference between you and Michigan is wider, whereas this year you're for all intents and purposes on a pretty level playing field with a lot of these teams that you're playing? How does that impact how you coach through a game?
Wow. That's very deep, Ben. Look, all I know is every game that we prepare for, we believe that we have a chance to win, or we believe we can win. And I don't know if I could say that 4 years ago. It was always do the best we can, play as hard as we can, fly around. And I think those guys, that team was the best team it could be by the end of the year. I always say that. I felt like that team was. Tim Frazier had an Achilles, and we were still able to hang in there and battle and push those guys through the finish line, which is really impressive when you're 0-12 12 at the time. I went 12 or went 13, whatever it was. I mean, that, for me, I've learned so much over the years on what not to do, right? And now I'm enjoying this team and this journey of what to do in these type of situations. And every setback is a great learning experience, is a growing experience. I think I've grown as a head coach. My staff has grown. I think we're really coaching at a high level. These guys are playing at a high level. So it's just it's a lot more enjoyable to go into games to really try to X and O and get your guys to play at a maximum performance.
You mentioned your staff. You guys over the years, for all the ups and downs, have done a pretty good job against good teams that have come here, and even if you've lost, they've been generally competitive games. Why do you think that you and your staff are sort of ready for those larger moments, so to speak?
Because we've learned from the setbacks, we've learned from the failures, we've learned from the close losses, we've learned from that stuff. And as long as you continue to learn and you have a growth mindset, man, the sky's the limit. You can accomplish anything. But if you have that fixed mindset where you can't think like that. There's always learning moments. There's always educational moments, and that's what you take from the past 6 years. What we played Chris once, so you have an idea of what he's going to do. But who's next? Who do we play next? You know what Matt Peener. You know what he's going to do. You know what Izzo's going to do. So there's some familiarity there. And I'm not saying I'm comfortable with anything. These guys are amazing coaches. They're Hall of Fame coaches. But I feel like, we're learning, we're growing, we're getting better too.
Jamari Wheeler has seen an increase in minutes over the past couple games. What's kind of gone into him getting the up and playing time?
It's all about strategy and what we think is best for our team. You saw Davis started at Ohio State last time. He hasn't gotten many minutes, but he's still keeping a great attitude. He's still working hard in practice. You saw Satchel play against Maryland, and John didn't play. But John played against Illinois. It really coming down to matchups and what we think is best for us, which is a great luxury to have. If I feel like Satchel's the best matchup, that's what we're going to go with. If I feel like John, and his mobility, then that's what we're going to go with. If I need a little bit of toughness and a bigger and shot making, then we'll go with Davis. But Jamari's speed, Nazir has completely bought into his role. Those guys have really stepped up and gave us great minutes off the bench, along with Julian. Julian's been my I'll say my whoopee, as my little 2-year-old has a whoopee that he carries around, which is a blanket, Nate. And he's that guy that I just trust to go in there, and he just cleans everything up for us.
With how much Nazir has progressed in the last couple games, how much of that do you feel has come from, even though you obviously don't want to have Josh miss 4 games, how much of that increased playing time that he saw in those 4 games is that a result in kind of how he's played the last couple games?
You're exactly right. I didn't like those 4 games, but maybe that's what we had to go through to get to where we are today, to get Nazir those quality minutes and Jamari those quality minutes and Davis, and I think it was important for those guys to learn. Maybe they had to learn on the fly. Maybe they had to learn in-game experience. And then I needed to have the faith and trust in them, and the players needed to have faith and trust in them. I think that's what you're starting to see now. When I've called a number, each guy has stepped up and given us great minutes. Nas has been really constant lately. Jamari's been great lately, but Satchel, I'm sure he didn't realize he was getting in. He gave us 4 of the best minutes at Maryland. Johnny the other day gave us 4 of the best minutes at Illinois. So I think those 4 games really helped us grow and mature.
How much more confidence does that give you going forward, especially going against 4 teams that are ahead of you in the conference to finish off the season and then into the Big Ten tournament?
Yeah, we're really, again, I've been saying all year, we're a connected group. As long as they have the open mind to get 1% better every day, that's all I could ask for.
You didn't want to touch it last week, but now that you're here looking at this final stretch of RPI, high RPI teams, do you look at it as an opportunity? Do you talk to your team at all about what they're able to do if they're able to get through some of these games?
You know what? I'm not going to. These kids are under enough pressure and stress from so many distractions that they have in their life. I just talk to them about getting better every day. And my focus, even on the bus after Illinois, was about stay the course, stay present, be here right now, focus on what you can focus on, get up tomorrow, go see Saz, do what you need to do, get some sleep, get some rest, really important. Monday, I just can't wait to get to practice today. And I know that's their mentality too. Let's get to practice today. Let's get a little bit better today. Let's watch film. We'll get a little bit better. I can't worry about rankings or RPIs, and I just can't play that game. I mean, not right now. Let's just be the best team that we can be going into this Ohio State game.
Going back to Nas, now that you have some more trust in him coming off the bench, how does that help you in a game where you're going against such a high scorer like kid is Diop, that you can bring him off, you can give Josh some rest, and you can have the same confidence that you can slow him down?
You're exactly right. So, because of our bench, we have bigs, multiple bigs, just in case, Mike's been getting in a little bit of foul trouble recently. And because of Nas, now you have another big guard that you can bring off the bench to be able to defend the better players on Ohio State, like Diop and like Tate. Like, you're able to guard those guys because you do have a bench if Josh gets in foul trouble or, Lamar gets in foul trouble. You have guys that you can go to be able to hold down the fort for a little while.
Before the season started, you said...
Wow.
I know.
Really?
Going way back. Before the season started, you said something to the effect of wanting to stay present and concentrate on enjoying yourself more this year than you had the previous 6. Have you followed through on that? Are you enjoying yourself right now?
How does it look? Do I look like I'm enjoying myself?
No, you look miserable.
It's because you haven't invited me over to your house yet.
A couple of days.
I'm having a blast. I love this team. I really am. I'm enjoying this journey. Even when we were in 3 and 5, I was enjoying it because I knew we had the opportunity to be really good. I knew we had the talent to compete in the Big Ten, and for that's what got me so excited. I felt like we had the talent last year, but we were too youthful. And now they're a little bit older, not much, still sophomores, but they're a little bit older. And with each passing game, with each passing practice, with each passing weight lift and film session, I can just see a maturity level. And going into games, I just feel so confident. I feel confident going into games that we're going to compete at a high level. And for me, that's enjoyable because the coaching has been done all throughout the summer, all throughout the fall, and in practice. Now it's really their team. They know this, Josh and Lamar and Tony and Chet. It's their team, and they're really, running the show, which is great that I can actually say, hey, Tony, what do you want to run? Hey, Tony, Gad, you make the next couple of calls. Hey, Josh, what do you think of this? And Shep's been phenomenal. His last 4 or 5 games defensively, he's been phenomenal. The best he's ever done in his career. And the fact that now he's top 10 right in scoring is just fabulous. So to be able to give the keys to the program to these guys makes you really proud. And that's what you enjoy. Remember you guys asked me a month and a half ago, where you are, how do you stay optimistic, how do you stay positive? It's the why, right? It's the why. Why do you do this? You do this because you're seeing Shep become a man. You're seeing Tony Carr, who was sick, battle through adversity and play one of his best games of his career. You're seeing Lamar step up. It's enjoyable to watch.
And you're appreciating it?
I'm appreciating it for sure.